God is trying to tell you that you will no longer be sterile or fruitless. I, the God, am the one who causes the hinds to calve and the soil to produce an abundance of food. The things that you have pledged to me are within my power to take, and I have the ability to cause you to bring forth and multiply them. Is this not the unmistakable evidence that my word is true? Not the hope that I instilled in you throughout the night season, is this not the case? As a result of the fact that I have already stated it, I shall carry out the exact thing that you requested and believed would be your share. Relax and take comfort in the knowledge that my voice is here, active, and generating inside you. When you speak of my splendor, you are referring of that which is on the inside of you, says the Father. My glory is not separated from you or located in some far-off, far-away place. Remember this, says the Father. Your wants are met by the abundance of my glory and wealth. The glory that is in you and in the glory is the whole measure and complete inventory of everything that you will ever require, as well as the answer to every request that you will ever pray. You should thank me with your tongue, and in doing so, my glory will be unleashed, and the manifest substance of the aspirations that are in your heart will be realized, even in this season and under this sun. In this day and age, the Father will tell you to pray for rain during the time of the latter rain, for I am about to bring the cloud of my glory onto you and within you. Receiving the blessings of my favor and generosity even in the midst of a period when mankind are at a loss for answers and there is a great deal of confusion throughout the world. It is not true that I have abandoned you or left you to fend for yourself. What the Father says is that my Spirit, which is already present inside you, is stirring and bringing forth on your behalf. I am moving over the surface of your bottomless pit in order to bring about creative marvels and restoration in order to get you ready for the days that are to come. Because the purchase price of Calvary is your part, provision, and protection against every invasion of the adversary, I am establishing the boundaries of your habitation and bringing the principalities and powers that are arrayed against you to a lower level. I am going to visit my sheep today, says the Father, and I am going to establish the home of the Lion of the tribe of Judah in a way that is righteous and powerful. I will fill you with my glory and put in order those things that are in opposition to what I have promised to do in your life. God says that you should get your destiny commission and that you should connect your thinking and decisions with my heart and mind, along with what is revealed in my word. My order provides glory to you because you are eager to change and devoted to marching against the rebellion of the age that manifests all around you. As order arrives, glory will be made evident, for my order brings glory. Despite the fact that you are experiencing days of upheaval and uncertainty, my fear is keeping you safe, and my love is surrounding you to ensure that you remain safe and on track to receive my best. I am calling you to go near to my mercy fountain because it is flowing today to bless and refresh you. The Father says this to you today. When I look upon you, I am the God who chose to create joy within myself so that I may bestow upon you the joy of celebration and the confidence that comes from my countenance. On the cross, 2,000 years ago, I turned my gaze away from the only beloved so that I could look upon you in a complete manner, cleansed from sin and made eligible to accept every good thing that is yours in redemption. You are accepted in the cherished, holy, and blameless before the foundation of the world on this day because the cross has done its work in your life. I am not frustrated with you, nor am I frowning upon you, since the cross has done its work in your life. My hand is upon the nations, declares God, and as my people sing and shout my praises, I will bring true justice and righteousness to them so that they may exhale a sigh of relief and exult in the manifestation of my goodness inside their borders. In spite of this, I am the shepherd of the nations and the shepherd of your soul. I watch over you and care for you in every need that you have and in every cry that your heart makes. I invite you to come in this day, says the Father, for the time for my harvest has arrived. For the sake of bestowing mercy upon those who are merciful and my loving kindness upon those who look to me rather than to man for their answers, the complete ear is in the corn. My blessings are coming upon you today and will continue to come upon you until every issue in your life is resolved, and your affirmation of my faithfulness is established even in the midst of your enemies. The banquet has been set, and your position at the table has been confirmed. This day, the Father instructs us to forgive, to let go, and to bless. Put the year's stress, aggravation, and resentment behind you and move on with your life. The upcoming year holds a number of possibilities that have not yet been fulfilled. Let go of your worries, tension, and anxiety because they are not a part of your portion that I have given you. You must not give in to your worries. Be aware that your past does not serve as a reliable indicator of what lies ahead, and that your present does not serve as a commentary on your past. In addition to forgiving other people, you need also make the decision to forgive yourself and let go of any feelings of shame or self-criticism against oneself. When someone accuses you of something and says something like, "If you had made your decisions differently than you did, things would be different," this is an example of the enemy's malicious lie. You should never give in to him on even a single point. Bless, forgive, and let go of the past. These are the steps that I have placed in your way that will lead you to life, blessings, and favor. Instead of wasting even the smallest amount of your energy worrying over things that may have been different, you should stop doing so. Standing instead in the authority of a Son of God and moving forward while leaning into the dictates of your faith and believing for the highest and best possibilities is the way to proceed. No matter if there is no food in the country or if there are other terrible obstacles, I will send the ravens to feed you. When others call to the rocks and say, "Fall on us," I will send ravens to feed you. Here is what I want you to know: you are not in danger. There is protection for you, and I am here with you. Continue to move forward with trust, with the expectation that your deepest heart's desire and your greatest dream will be materialized as swiftly as possible. According to what the Father has revealed to us today, when you come before me, I will come before you. It is not necessary to be a mystic or to have a spooky spiritual mentality in order to enter my courts or to explore the incomprehensible depths of my riches and splendor. You are not of the earth, you are not earthly, you are the sort of heaven, a new creation that has been blessed with the ability to walk through my courts and to know my mind and my heart in everything. When my glory shines on your face, it will be to bear evidence to my grace and power upon you, and not to any other thing. Men have a desire to shine and be seen above their peers, but when my glory shines on your face, it will be for that purpose. You should be aware of this, God says, that you are not excluded. I am your natural habitat and the place in which you spend your time at home. It is not through eccentric religious thinking or a works mentality that one can gain entrance to the doors and gates of availability. Your consecration is not what makes the route plain, rather, it is the consecration of Jesus and the price that He paid for your sin that makes the way clear. I no longer consider you to be an outsider in my courts. You are absolutely at home here. There is a space here by me where you are placed far above principalities and powers, and I ask you to enter in and know your place by my side today. This place is here by me. In the same way that the years of Moses were, the Father says that your years will be the same. It is not possible for your eyes to become less bright, and your inherent vigor will not be lessened. Your fingers will learn how to battle, and your hands will learn how to make war, because I am the might of David. As Daniel did, I will bring you out of the furnace of hardship and establish you on high in great authority so that you may move from kingdom to kingdom among men and teach the mysteries of God. I will do this in the same way that Daniel did. Even during the dry season, you will have deep roots and be full of sap, just like a tree that was planted by rivers of water. You will live for a very long time. It is inevitable that you will walk barefoot on the waves of adversity. In spite of the fact that you are being thrown to the lions, I will close the jaws of the lion, and you will not sustain any injuries. My Father says, I am with you, and I will never leave you nor forsake you until the end of time. At this very moment, I am the closest thing to you that you will ever be able to be to the priceless object and the dear ones, even to your very own heart. I command you to gaze to me, and be aware that my glory is both your rear guard and the bulwark that stands before you, preventing the adversary from making further progress. There is no possibility that your shoes will become worn out, nor will your clothing become tattered. I have placed my love upon you and have shown you this day an unprecedented favor so that you may live before me and be perfect in all things. 1,000 will fall at your left hand, and 10,000 will fall at your right, but you will only be able to see the shadow on the land if you look at it with your eyes. It will not come near you, and it will not come near your household. Today, the Father tells you that you are transitioning from a state of mediocrity into the invigorating and dynamic environment of my Spirit. On the loom of my purposes, your life is a tapestry that is being woven. I am constructing a future that has not yet been realized and a destiny that has not yet been fulfilled. Neither have you waited for an excessively long time, nor is it too late. You have been told by the adversary and even by those in your immediate environment that you are unable to obtain what I have encoded in your heart to seek and believe for. The hardness of their hearts is deep. The reality that their hearts have failed them because of fear is reflected in the pessimism that they exhibit and the sarcasm that they dress themselves in to conceal their immorality. It is time to put some distance between oneself and such. In the kingdom, there is no such thing as sarcasm. According to your God, there is completely no pessimism in the kingdom. There is no such thing as a victim, you are a victor. Make a conscious decision to not dress yourself in the drab olive drab of victimization. The poison of self-pity, which is fostered by the false mercy of those who pat your hand to comfort you but never speak a word of deliverance into your life, should be something you refuse to give in to. Your destiny will not be altered. Your future is completely secure. Every single thing that has been misplaced or stolen will be restored 7 times over. The experience of suffering does not define you. Rather, it only prepares the parameters for blessing, which means that I will bless you and push you over in favor and breakthrough when nothing else will. Get your body moving. That is the smoke and mirror falsehoods of the enemy, but my promise is working in you to bring about the fulfillment of your highest heart's desire and your greatest goal, even in the midst of the agony and suffering. Shake yourself free from the thoughts that say, I can't, I will never, or things will never stop hurting or be different. A message from the Father to you today is that you are not asking for too much. A number of people have expressed the opinion that your aspirations and visions are founded on assumptions rather than faith. In point of fact, even if you put your wits to the test by requesting the highest and best that you can dream of, you would still be asking for something that is well below your privileges. To be a stoic or to walk in poverty is not what I have meant when I called you. When it comes to the price that was paid on Calvary, stoicism and poverty are not reflecting the reality of the situation. When I give you the priceless and big promises that you would ask for, it is my intention to do it in such a way that you insult every religious spirit who hears your petition. The things that the adversary has taken, I will return 7 times over. What you have been denied by life, I desire for you to get pressed down, shaken together, and running over not only from my hand but also from the hand of man. I will be showing you favor with those individuals with whom you need to have favor. To bless you, I shall bless you with blessings. On this day, you should be aware that I am honoring you in a manner that is beyond the comprehension of human beings. Men will look at your dreams and tell you that they are inappropriate. I look upon their religious skepticism that has been preserved and I consider it to be blasphemy. According to your God, I am a good God, and it is because of my goodness that you will share of it both now and in the days that are to come. Today, the Father tells you that in the years to come, you will remember this season with gratitude, thanksgiving, and yes, even rejoicing. Your joy will be abundant, so feel free to dance in advance, for I will flood your land and your life with an abundance of joy that is beyond your wildest dreams. You will say to yourself, I have witnessed the goodness of God in the land of the living. This is just the beginning of the fruitfulness that you have recently discovered. Your life will be filled with joy, just like the low-hanging fruit that is available around harvest time. Your chin will be dripping with the juices of the fruit of joy, and you will be filled with laughter as you indulge in this experience. The period of melancholy has come to an end, and the garments of heaviness and uncertainty are being replaced by the surety of my favor and the joy that I have bestowed upon you at a degree that you have never before encountered. You will witness that my faith was enlarged, and I was expecting a net-breaking catch, but what God has done for me exceeds my wildest expectations. God will tell you not to look at the darkness that is all around you. You will remark, I dreamed big, but I never dreamed this big. Take a look at the dew that covered the mountains in the morning. It is true that those who are pessimistic have witnessed something, but their perception is unique, and it will not come close to you. According to God, this is the moment when your deepest heart's desire and your most ambitious ambition will be realized. Eliminate the pessimism and doubt from your heart. Take the threats that the adversary has shot at you like fire arrows and throw them out of your heart where they belong. I say that nothing will ever be able to harm you, and those who have plans for you, other than blessing, goodness, and gladness, are being dealt with right now. You will never see them again in your entire life, says the Father. A new thing is going to be born in your life, the Father says today. I am bringing it into being. What is old, what is scarred, and what is contaminated is being removed from you and removed from you permanently. For now, we are in the process of making preparations for a new splendor, a new purification, and a new filling. Because I am your bridegroom and you are my beloved, you have experienced fullness, and you have tasted the precious waters of my kiss. You have known completeness. On this day, I enfold you within myself, enveloping you, concealing you, and embracing you. The soul that you possess is my beloved, and I am your Boaz. For the past 2,000 years, I have been your kinsman redeemer and acquired you. On the contrary, you are not an outsider or a stranger. Rather, you are a respected and cherished husband. I have grafted you into a lineage and legacy that began with David and culminates in a glorified bride, whom I have suspended between heaven and earth in order to give birth to an unblemished man-child who has caught up to my throne. Enter into the bridal celebration, says the Father, by the dictates of your spirit made free, made clean by the shedding of the spotless blood of heaven's darling. This is the entrance into the wedding celebration. Heaven is holding its breath as it waits for even the slightest step of your love to enter the secret spot with me. God invites you to come in. Take a bite off of the bread that I have brought with me, and be aware of the covering and protection that my love that cannot be described provides for you. Do not cling to the past. Try not to glance back. Your spirit should not be dampened by the catastrophes that occurred in the past, nor should you allow the events of the present to divert your attention. I am approaching you from behind in your history. I am supporting you in your present, and I am standing in your future, urging you to come away, oh, my beloved. It is time for you to leave. The doors are coming open. As you enter, angels are positioned in a silent position along the side. Change is occurring at this time. Through the use of resurrection substance, you will undergo a transformation and be outfitted with the light body that man knew before the fall. I am surrounding you with the quickening spirit of my fullness, which is enveloping you, providing you with sustenance, and bringing you to new heights in my love that you have not yet experienced. This day, the Father says, I see Satan falling like lightning, cast down by individuals who are filled with faith and who are performing the commission that I have given to my kingdom with complete faith and joyous abandon. There is a field that lies beyond your concerns, beyond all the madness and turmoil that man has brought into the world. There is where I shall meet you. You are the person I love. My strength lies within you. You are buoyantly lifted above the flood that takes away the wicked by the grace and loving kindness that I have for you. You are not going to be carried away by the raging storm that is all around you. Rather, it is just going to bring you closer to me. At this point, each and every chain has been shattered. The sound of my voice was enough to break every captivity. Every single captivity was broken. The Lord says, hear my sound, and you will be changed. Listen to my voice, and the world will change. You do not need to worry. You are liberated in accordance with the precepts of my word, which were validated in the blood that was shed at Calvary. God assures you that you are not alone. Neither are you excluded, nor are you barred from participation. Some individuals take pleasure in your anguish and point the finger at you, shouting, "Ah!" in their views. There is nothing that can be considered proper in their world that does not involve the act of thrusting forth the finger and taking pleasure in the agony of other people. Observe them in silence. Depart from them. Please forgive them. God bless them. Give them freedom from all of their expectations. If they were capable of doing better, they would do so. Nevertheless, they are unable to do so because they have let the carnal mind to serve as their dwelling place rather than allowing my enthronement to take place in their hearts. Make your way into the hidden location. When you listen to the depths of your being, you will be able to hear the holy, holy, holy of the living creatures that are standing before my throne. I want you to feel and see the 24 elders falling before my throne in you, where crowns are cast, where my glory, your hope of glory, rests. Things are changing now. Now, things are different. It is the old that is abandoned. Now that you have left the dry and empty chrysalis behind, you should spread your wings and take flight with me. According to what the Father has revealed to us today, the water table of my glory is rising in your heart and in your life. More of who I am included in your life is exactly what you have yearned for and sought all along. Remove your shoes and dance in the rain, for the springs of my deep are breaking up in you, and the skies are opening to pour out upon you until you are soaked to the skin and saturated to your deepest core with my love and my presence. Take off your shoes and dance in the rain. So what? Never mind them. Concerns. There, in the presence of my name, Jehovah Jireh, they vanish into thin air. Who is the adversary? According to God, man is unable to breathe at this depth. As you put your head on my shoulder and experience everything that is my all in all within you, his body will be laid out where it falls at my feet. You are seeing a rise of the Sun of Righteousness within your heart today. It is now possible to witness illumination, grandeur, and power in your land, which dispels all darkness and all despondency. I feel your suffering. I am aware of your struggles. 2,000 years ago, I gave it to you to carry. Hand it on to me. Donate it with all your heart, do so willingly. You must make a decision that you will not be defined by the things that you have lost or the things that you have suffered. I am in you, working through you to break every chain and cause you to realize the always triumphant reality of who I am and who I have always been in your life, even when you couldn't feel me or find me. Fix your eyes on me, for just as I overcame, so am I in you, working through you to break every chain. I am with you. God says, I am here, talk to me. I am here. In the same way that the Shulamite sought out her beloved, let your voice seek out my sound. I will wash you and cleanse your tear-streaked face, and I will fill you with my power and presence. You will find me behind the lattice, and you will experience my most intimate embrace while I do so. Hear the voice of my gentleness speaking over you now, says the Father, who is speaking to humanity today. I am activating who you are in my kingdom in the same way that I activated the unformed substance of Jesus while he was still in the womb of Mary. I am doing this with all the peaceful assurance and complete knowledge that I am intentional in you. I am speaking, declares the Lord. Listen to the voice of my compassion as it encourages and coaxes you to do great things. You are not the same as others. It is not true that you are dismissed or ignored. You, on the other hand, are my darling, and I am very delighted with you. Is it audible to you? Is it possible for you to perceive the sound of the Holy Spirit's wings flapping as they rest upon your head? That is the joy that comes from my heart coming to you and celebrating over you, so that you may rejoice and know that I have accepted you at the moment that I have allotted. You have not made me angry. I am not dissatisfied with you in any way. During those times when you feel so disqualified, I am, in reality, loving you more completely. I want you to know that I am not looking at your track record. Rather, I am looking at the price of Calvary that I paid to acquire you for myself 2,000 years ago. This is my unrelenting tenderness, which is pursuing you and having an effect on you at every step and in every challenging circumstance. Try not to be terrified. Have no fear. Simply allow yourself to be receptive to the gentleness of my voice, and permit that gentleness that emanates from me to collaborate with who you are on the inside, so that it might become fruit of who I am living on the inside of you. You have to have an up-close encounter with my gentleness. Otherwise, you will never know that aspect of who I am that so motivates me to act and move in your circumstances. This will continue until you are completely saturated with my gentleness and kindness to the point where those around you no longer know you. Because when they look at you, they see me and know that you have been with Jesus and that you are, in reality, becoming the gentleness of Christ personified in your spirit, your character, and your thinking. This is because they perceive me as my disciples from the past. Do not turn around and look back, the Father warns today. Try not to glance back. Instead of focusing on the things that have happened in the past, you should look forward to the things that are going to happen in the future. I have prepared wonderful and incredible things for those individuals who will obey my word and those individuals who will walk in my spirit. According to the Lord, I have big and tremendous things that I want to perform in the earth, but in order to accomplish them, I require a people that are willing, obedient, and humble. Those individuals who are willing to pay the price are what I require. It is necessary for me to have individuals who are willing to turn away from the things of this world and devote their entire lives to me, giving me their undivided attention and devotion. I have commanded you to remain in that location with me, where there is no compromise, where there is nothing of the world, but where you cannot do anything but look to me.